I went to the gym today and I saw two men there. It appeared to be about a 55, 60-year-old father and his 25, 30-year-old son. And the son was doing these bicep curls, right? And the dad was going, son, just move your elbows back a little and and he's showing him how to blah, blah, blah. Well, I saw this take place 3 times as I'm like, doing my own machine here, corner of my eye. And then finally the son's like, put the bicep machine down, walked away like, you know what? I've got this. I don't need you to tell me what to do. And the father's like, go, just go. The first thought I had in my mind was, son, you might want to listen to your dad because he's got some friggin' nice arms. The dad was cut and he knew what he was talking about. But I let that thought go past me and I realized I saw how the two were annoyed by each other and they continued to go on and do their workouts. And they probably came together so they'd have to drive home together. And it started me thinking, because this is what I do during Lent when I give up my cell phone until noon each day. So I can't listen to podcasts while I'm working out anymore. But it's been really awesome because I get to see things. Guys, I'm coming back into life again. You should do this because I forgot how much life I was missing when I had those things in my ears. Okay, that's a little rabbit trail. Coming back. The thoughts that came to my head were, they'll get in the car, they won't remember it at all. I said, if that was a woman though, oh, it would keep going. So I think about my husband and I, we had an argument last night. I don't even remember what it was about. Oh, I do. About a TV and a remote control or something like that. And when we went to church this morning, my husband eventually leans over and says, I'm sorry, right? Which I was really grateful. Because when I woke up, it was still kind of there. I wasn't being mean, but I just was like, and it reminded me of the difference between men and women. And I wanted to just do a quick video to remind you of the difference. And why does that happen? So as I've said before in a couple of my videos, the brain is different for men and women. We both start out when we're in our mom's womb with a left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, and then down the center here is this corpus callosum, which is the part of the brain that sends messages from the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere. I lovingly refer to it as the freeway system, right? So messages are going back and forth. Well, the male brain was the same as the female brain while he was in his mom's womb for a while. But at some point, the male baby gets this shot of testosterone that just floods his body and it singes some of these pathways in the corpus callosum. Again, for you doctors in there who can explain it way more technologically than I can, do so, put it in the comments. But this is my Christine Bacon way of phrasing it all. But when it singes these pathways, what happens is the male brain is, we jokingly say a man has compartments in his brain. So if he's thinking finances, it's this one spot right here. If he's thinking sports, it's over here. And if he's thinking work, it's over there. And if he's thinking sex, it's all over the place because the male brain lights up 6 times more frequently than the female does for sex. So when a man is thinking about a subject, he goes to that part of the brain. His wife says, honey, we need to talk about the bills. Goes to that spot where the bills are. Okay, babe, love you, ready to talk. Let's talk about the bills. And he will stay in that spot until the conversation's over, until the issue's been resolved, whichever one comes within 20 minutes. So if it's after 20 minutes, the dude's flooded. He's like, I can't. Oh, we'll come back to this. So if you watch males communicating, they'll go back and forth. They stay in that spot. The subject stays the same when they're done. You done? I'm done. Yeah, okay. And then go back to the thing. Well, it's not the same for women. For women, because this corpus callosum still is connecting what's ever going on here. We're talking about the bills, but it's connecting to how that's going to affect our vacation, which is connecting how that's why when you spent that extra $300 last month and you didn't tell me about it, how it connects to that and how we're fighting over different parts of these things. And then when I start doing that, then I start thinking about the fact that this is what your mom and dad used to fight about. Oh my goodness, you're like them. And are we ever going to get past this? And oh my gosh, now we're going to have to go on vacation and we're going to be upset. And just, it's just all these connections are being made. And so, like the man in the gym, like me with my husband, I think about the two male brains, the two men in the gym. 20 minutes later, their workouts were done. That moment was gone. And no matter what they did, it wasn't going to go connect back to that spot, that moment, unless one of them sought to do so. Oh, hey, let's talk about that time. Oh, you go back to that spot. My husband and me, the thing we were fighting about, arguing, we didn't have a fight. An argument was about, okay, it's just exactly what I said. It's not the remote, it's the TV. We got to fix the TV, the remote's some, whatever. And I said it, didn't listen, and it's not a big deal. But I was annoyed at the fact that I wasn't listened to. And then when my husband came to bed, he's like, you're right. I think it's the TV and it's not the remote. And I'm like, that's what I said. Sorry, not letting you into our private stuff, but since it was so minor, I thought I'd bring it up. So this morning when he saw me, I was still frustrated because it's like, why do I have to hit my head against the wall to get you to see this is what I'm saying? But I was consciously trying to choose to let it go too, because I'm going, Christine, this stupid remote control on a TV. But the connections were still. His apology made it so much easier to say, okay, let it go, to get resolution. But I give you these two examples to say this is why many men wonder why women can go on and on and on. Why do you keep remembering what happened 6 years ago? Because it connects to what's happening today, which connects to tomorrow, which connects to our marriage, which is going to connect to the kids. It's all connected. So to forget it, a woman has to actively and proactively and continually work to push it out of her brain. And when the next thing happens that connects it to that, she has to work again. And I'd like to make this analogy for those of you men that don't get it. Do you know how we women don't understand how you're visually stimulated and you see an image of a woman and she looks great and those images keep coming back to your mind and you have to actively push them out? You see people walk past you practically naked these days, and you have to actively work to push those images out of your mind. That's what we women have to do with all these things you're asking us. Why do you keep bringing that back up? Haven't you let that go yet? Well, that's what I'd like to say. Haven't you let go of those images of that woman that just walked past you? Why'd you even let her come into your brain? Our brains are such beautiful gifts from God. They're capable of so many things that I don't think we'll ever comprehend, even if we had millennia and millennia and millennia more to study it. Because God can't be outdone, and God created the brain. But the things that we do know, we need to selflessly try to understand the other. Husbands, try to selflessly understand this about your wife. Help her to get resolution in those areas. When she keeps going there, it shows something's not resolved. And of course, I'm always saying, ladies, you've just got to understand this about yourself and proactively push it out and understand maybe it's good that guys forget 2 seconds later, but we have to bring him back when it's something that's been unresolved. And then just a quick aside, that's how hard it is for them to get those images out of their head when they have women that are walking past them, half naked or cleavage up to their chins. And our brains are different, and we are supposed to selflessly seek to please the other, to not fight the other, to forgive the other. How's it working for you? Understanding the brain is the first step. Understanding the opposite gender is the next step. Maybe just try to understand the opposite gender, forget the brain, right? But it all helps. Just know that God made a conscious choice to make us different. And I think he did that so that we'd have to work at loving the other, because that, in essence, makes us work towards our selflessness. We feel like just doing our own thing, but we've got to do what the other needs instead, because that's what Christ taught us to do. And he's just giving you plenty of activity and opportunity to practice. Does it make sense? I hope it does. All right, now go out and be awesome. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching another informational Bacon Bit. And as always, remember to live your life sunny side up.